Hey, Dental Nachos friends, this is Paul, Dr. Nacho with the JFO, Just Find Out key resource and sponsor. I like to start these out with a question for you. Would you like to save money without seeing any extra patients in your office? Would you like to lower your tax rate by using tax strategies to help you? I'm here with the Rethink Wealth team. They're going to introduce themselves and share with us what they do and how they help dentists. I'll start with you, Sean.
Awesome. My name is Sean Arrington. I'm a partner with Rethink Wealth in Fort Worth, Texas. We are a holistic financial planning firm. We have offices in Houston, Texas, Fort Worth, Dallas, and Austin.
Awesome.
I'm Nathan Griffin. I'm a financial professional here at Rethink Wealth, and we're specializing in dentists, and really excited to be on.
I see you picked a good career, Nathan, because I picked teeth, right? And nobody wants to talk about teeth. People want to talk about money all the time. Should have sold cupcakes, but I've chosen this life. It's my life to lead. And now our third guest here.
Walter Wilson. I'm a federal tax lawyer. I started my career out as an adjunct faculty member at Northwestern University and the dental school, and teaching creating the expanded duty dental assistance program for the United States Air Force, which is now part of every facility, every military facility in the world. And the expanded duty dental assistants have had the experience of increasing the doctor's production by 4 times, a proven track record. I then joined the faculty of the University of Texas Dental Branch in Houston, where I taught practice management and junior senior programs, adjunct professor at the University of Houston Optometric School and the Baylor College of Medicine. Basically, I specialize in dentists and have represented dentists now for a long time. And our law practice is composed of lawyers who are both accountants, CPAs, and lawyers, and we practice in 50 states, exclusively for dentists.
I appreciate you sharing that. A couple of things I want to say. First, I appreciate you dedicating your life to helping my people, the dentists. We are not the easiest of people. I know my people, we are not the easiest. So thank you, Walter. Also, just like to pause before you guys go in, just to share with my audience that when you're on your dentisting journey, from dental student, resident, associate, new practice owners, medium practice owner, there's people to help you on this journey, advisors who do things every day that you don't do. One of the biggest challenges of dental school, and I really commend you, Walter, for somehow getting your material into dental schools, because not every dental school is willing to do this. And they make dental students feel like you should know these things that you don't know, right? Your car breaks down. Nobody says, oh, well, you should just fix your own car. You bring in a mechanic. But for some reason, dental schools make dentists sort of feel they should know everything. And I want to make you guys feel, my Dental Nachos audience, there are people out there like this team to help you. So we're going to talk about an exciting topic, lowering your tax rate. So I am a medium-aged dentist, practice owner. I've had practice loans. We've had equipment debt. We have different things. How can we use some strategies to lower our tax rate, save on taxes?
Awesome. Thanks. Walter, you want to go ahead and talk about the loans, bud?
Well, we have developed profit centers that about 10 years ago, we did a focus panel with 100 of our clients and said, look, we think that there are profit centers in your practice that are invisible in plain sight, and we want to identify them. You don't have to see any more patients. You don't have to do any more procedures. You don't have to cut your overhead or fire anybody. Let's see if we can develop profit centers in your practice right off your tax returns that are currently invisible. Let's identify them. They reoccur every year. So we're going to show you, imagine your dental practice like a gold mine, and we're going to identify the nuggets that are in the gold mine, and then you're going to get to mine them every year after we identify them. And so that's exactly what we did. And we identified 19 profit centers. And one of the things we looked at was we asked questions. How long are you going to practice dentistry? Do you think you paid too much in federal income tax? Did you borrow any money to buy the practice or to put equipment in the practice? Did you buy or build a professional office building? Did you incur any debt? And invariably, the answers were yes, 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 yes. And so we said, all right. So we did the focus panel and did the study group, and the results were staggering. And one of the results were that we can show a doctor in most cases how to reduce federal income tax by 50% a year legally.
That's awesome. Walter, I have a feeling you've done the impossible, because I asked dentists questions and they can't agree on anything. But I bet they all agreed that they paid too much in taxes. I'm guessing that they agreed on that.
Virtually everyone said
people
that.
together. Good job. They could bond over that, right? Not tried it, not gum. No, we cannot agree on that, but we can agree on that. So so this sounds very exciting to me as a practice owner, because making more money by not doing anything extra in a way that's responsible, and you can utilize this money in so many different ways. Because being a dentist, and if you guys are dentists, I can bring it to life for you. It's like doing full contact arts and crafts on people who don't want to be there. It's quite stressful, okay? So if you're going to go into your office and you can make more money, that's awesome. Now, what I'm thinking is, once you help, Walter, these practices save money, our financial advisor team, you guys help them do something with this money. So, let's say I have an extra $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 that I didn't have. Sean and Nathan, what strategies, or how do you guys come in at that point?
Yeah, it's a great question. I appreciate that, man. When we go through, it really varies and depends on the overall financial picture of the actual dentist themselves. As we find each person, they're unique to their situation, their spending habits, what they've already done, the things that are working in their overall financial plan and not. There's a couple of things that we can go through and do in the new structure that allows us to do things that you can't do as an individual. Walter will go through and talk about the tax planning, but once the tax planning is put in place, and once the efficiency are put in place to find those hidden gold mines that Walter is talking about and those invisible dollars, we then can do things for you inside of that structure that you cannot do as an individual. Awesome. Some of those things are deferred compensation plans, potentially for either you or for an associate, to make sure that associate stays with you for a long time. There's also ways to pay for goods and services inside of this entity, which is a corporation, that actually allows you to pay for them with what we consider to be wholesale dollars instead of retail dollars, which we all want to do. So it's more about creating efficiencies in your overall plan. What we see in the actual plans we do for our clients, it's not any one major decision that makes or breaks the client. It's all the little small ones that occur every single night at midnight that compound, that cause a problem.
Death by 1,000 annoying cuts of dentistry.
It really is.
So, and also, I like that value-added nachos for the associate. I'm a big fan of collaborating. Dentists should work together more and find ways. So while we're going to talk more, if someone's listening right now and they want to find out more about you guys, what is the best website for them to go to?
Yeah, best website to go through is rethinkwealth.com. Again, we're a national company. We're in most states and work with clients in most states, but we're based out of Fort Worth, Houston, Dallas, and Austin, Texas.
Awesome. Now I'm going to go back to you, Walter. So now we're going to talk about, lowering the taxes that you pay each year. I know you guys have webinars where you share with dentists, and we're going to share how people can join your webinars. Visit rethinkwealth.com. We're also going to share with you how you can join upcoming webinars. But Walter, would you like to share a little bit about how taxes do get lowered?
Well, basically, every doctor who is practicing dentistry in the United States probably their team doesn't talk amongst themselves. And we've had a number of major tax laws, the most recent of which is called the CARES Act, and they don't even know about that. But the one before that was the Tax Act of 2018, which was really significant. So basically, you lower income tax because right now you have a layered tax. It starts at 37, it adds the surcharges, and you could easily be paying 40% tax. Well, if we could move part of the income that you don't need to live on to a 21% taxpayer and only pay tax on what you consume, so that's how we start. We say, okay, what do you need to live on? And every doctor's got a number. It's 10,000, 8,000, 5,000, whatever the number is. We say, okay, that's our starting point. We multiply it times 12, and then we gross it up, and we pay you a salary. You only have to pay tax on what you consume. We can defer the rest. We can move it to another taxpayer legally, and you have a 21% tax rate at the federal level. Now, that's the big deal. Pay tax on what you consume. Don't pay tax on what you earn.
I love that concept, and also it kind of fits with my theme of, hire people to do stuff every day, because while you guys could read the instructions on how to bond a filling into place, you wouldn't know what we're talking about. So all of these tax codes, I think, are probably even confusing for people who look at this all the time. So it just goes to show you that that's why dentists, and I'm one too, that you just lose your energy and desire to try to figure these things out on your own, because you could read things for a while and not figure it out. So that's why it's great to work with a team like you guys. Nathan, what do you find? We have so many different dentists in our Dental Nachos group, all different ages, from first year dental school up to been practicing dentistry longer than I've been alive, which always makes me feel good. what are some of the things you're finding your clients, when they can save this money, are doing with it to make their life better, whether for the present or the future?
Sure. And again, going back to we at Rethink are a holistic and education and protection based firm in the first place. Every client is different, and we like to customize our plans to those clients. I've seen a lot of people want to be investment heavy. So we have, and that's the best thing about Rethink is we have such a team behind us. We have an investment guy, we have a life insurance guy, we have a disability girl, we got CEO over here, overlooking all of it. A lot of the clients that I'm looking at right now are mainly focused on just protecting where they are today, whether that be disability, life insurance, that type of stuff. And then going through that, getting them holistically planned for the future, because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. We can only focus on what we have, and then allocating those resources accurately.
And to me, someone, I don't want to brag at this moment, but I will. I don't think there's another person on earth who talks to more dentists than me. So if that's an award, I've won it. But I talk to all these dentists. The nature of dental school debt has dramatically changed since I went since just 18 years ago. So that's a whole emotional component. And you can rationally tell people, you'll pay your debt, you'll do this stuff. But when you're the person who has $500,000 or $600,000 in debt, anything you can do to make yourself feel better about that improves your patient care, improves your relationship with your family, makes you feel better on the weekend. So that's just such an important part. Now, I wanted you guys to share now. So if somebody's watching and says, I want to go to Rethink Wealth and learn more about what you do, rethinkwealth.com. But tell me about these webinars that you have that share some of this insight. What's the best way? I know we'll share how to find out about them, and what will people learn at these webinars?
Yeah, we'll create a link for the webinar, an invitation. We've got, typically they go on about once every 3 weeks, because after we give one, we get backlogged with people coming through, because one thing that we do is the tax attorney, the CPA, and the Rethink Wealth team, we all get together with them after reviewing their tax returns, their P&L statement, and their personal financial statement. And we actually go out and do a lot of work for them before they have to engage us. So we put the pressure on ourselves to be able to provide value, because that's how we operate. We are a value creation firm. And so we would shoot out the link to the webinar. Then you would get an invitation from someone in our marketing department that would reach out and show you how to walk through it and how to attend. Once you attend, then we would basically go through and walk through about a 45-minute presentation, a webinar that would go through and talk about probably 5 to 6 of the overall 19 different wealth buckets that Walter were talking about that's invisible to you guys. So it's highly educational, highly informative. You've got myself that gives the presentation, as well as a tax attorney and the CPA. And the beauty about that is all 3 of those individuals and all 3 of these very large firms work together with the dentist while you're there and while you're not there. Instead of you having to be the person coordinating what the attorney said to the CPA, and then what the CPA said to the attorney, and getting it all mixed up. You've got people that are battling it out. You never see us argue in front of you guys, but we argue like crazy behind the scenes.
I like that. You're very passionate. I don't argue. I have enthusiastic debates. My team, we call them enthusiastic debates.
Exactly.
So passionate and enthusiastic. We debate with, my wife says, a tone. It's a little louder than she wants. But what I want to share is, and we'll share these upcoming webinars, but we're living through a time where something's happened that we didn't expect to happen. So, I have a 6-year-old. So if someone said, go to a class on what it's like to go to middle school, I need to go to that because she's going to do this. Now, we don't know what middle school is even going to look like. So prepare yourself and also be able to adjust. I talk about ABCs, always be creative, always be changing. And it sounds like, Walter, you are always adjusting to the tax laws because they're changing rapidly. Is that an accurate statement?
Well, we had a major tax law change on January 1 of 18, and no one called your doctors to tell them that if they owe any money that's related to the business, not their personal residence, we can cut their costs by 42%. This came into the law on January 1st. So it's astounding how many of your doctors have debt, and they're approaching $1 million in debt between the practice, equipment, improvements, real estate, $1 million. Well, if we can save them $420,000 per million, and this just came into the law, we are constantly reviewing the tax laws and saying, how can it help our clients?
Yeah, I like that. This is why I think You guys help people saving money. People should like the dentist. We help you eat, and people don't like us. I don't know why. I'm going to start a whole campaign. Maybe you can be on the Super Bowl. Like your dentist more. We're just helping you chew. So I'm a big sports fan, actually. So I'll wrap this up with, I'll give each of you guys the last word. If you're talking to the Nacho audience, dentists of all ages or stages, is there anything you'd like to leave them with? We're going to share your guys' webinar, rethinkwealth.com. If anyone wants to reach out to us at salsa@dentalnachos.com, we can connect you. But I'll start with you, Sean, on the last word for the Nacho audience.
Sure. We engaged in working with your community because we saw collectively a lot of things that were highly inefficient, and you guys were great business owners, but you just wanted to practice patient care. Yeah. And it was left up to you. To your point earlier, you were not taught this stuff when you were in school, and you had to learn a lot of it the hard way. And so we decided between the tax attorney, the CPA, and the financial planning firm is to all get together on your behalf and create an educational environment to where we can create more value to your marketplace than we consume. And if we can go through and do so, then we're going to have a great relationship with your community and be able to do some incredible things for you guys. So that's the reason that we got in here. And by the way, we got in this business to obtain clients. I don't want to shy away from that any way, shape, or form, but the way at which we go through and do it is very unique and very uncommon, and it's all about creating value. Then you opt to either work with us or not.
I really like that. And Dennis said too, you can't help people unless you become your patients, your clients, your customers. And it's an opportunity to help another human being with some of the most important things that dictate a lot of the stress levels and success over their entire career. So thanks, Sean. Nathan.
Yeah. Yes. With the clients that I've worked for and with, it's been, dentists as a whole are too successful. They've gone through too much school. They've been placed themselves in a great place to where they want to be able to protect that. And that's what we want to be able to do for them, is to be able to say, hey, you've done enough. You don't want to get robbed. I get it. And we're here to be a protection and to tell you where to go with your dollars, and give you a chance to vote and keep you educated on what is happening with your dollars, so you can focus on your patient care and not have to worry about what's going on behind us.
At the end, I love that. I'll say to my dental audience, care just about money as you do occlusion, how people bite, because money lets you get to keep helping patients and other people. And it's an important point. And I'm going to go to Walter, because I really admire what you've done for our industry in infusing this type of knowledge. It sounds like you've been doing it for decades. So Walter, I'll give you the last word on our Nacho webinar here.
What we did was we found that every dentist has something that we call the invisible bank. And so we've opened up your invisible bank to you. You can make deposits and withdrawals. You don't need the government to give you approval. And this invisible bank is just invaluable. So we have shown through 19 profit centers how to build value immediately and how to build value both personally and inside the practice, because you're now seeing practices being grouped into group dental practices and being sold to the private equity and the venture groups, and they're all based upon EBITDA. Everything we do builds individual, immediate income and value. And I like the term, we now can open your invisible bank to you.
I think that's a great endpoint. And one of the things I also do is help dentists sell practices and act as buyer coaches. And what this has taught me as a practice owner is you really need to be ready to transition your practice at any time. Sometimes it's on your own terms, sometimes it's not on your own terms, but either way, getting your practice in the best shape possible is great. So I thank you guys, the Rethink Wealth team, rethinkwealth.com. I really appreciate your time today.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.